Yay!
Yay! I think we're live. Hello, everybody. Happy 2024.
Yeah, 2024. Celebrating everybody. Happy New Year to everybody, one and all.
My goodness.
Right, I'm just going to do the tech stuff and just...
Yes, let's get, if I can even find it. So welcome, everybody. We're so excited. This is our first like live, well, it's our second episode, but the last one we did in December was our intro to this podcast series that we're going to be launching here today with our very first topic, how to embark on a journey of spiritual empowerment so that we can really, truly feel into, tap into, harness the energy of feeling safe in our ascension process. This is so important for us right now as we step over this precipice into 2024, as the energy of Aquarius comes in and we can really, really step into this. So if you're following us, if you're watching this live, give us a wave, give us a heart, say hello. If you're watching the replay, please type #replay. Please share this out with your community if you feel this would resonate with them. If this is a conversation you feel others need to have, we would love for you to share this out and come and watch us on our brand new YouTube channel as well, and the links are all below. So yes, excited to be here. Bring it on. 2024. How did we get here? Oh my goodness. me.
I know, and we've got lots of exciting things that we want to cover off. And if you've not watched episode 1, please do check it out. As Natasha said, our new channel, which is Safety and Ascension. Episodes are all going to be posted up there, so they can be watched at any time. But episode 2, which is today, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the Akashic Records, because we kind of launched into lots of things, including the Akashic Records, but we wanted to just share a few more bits and pieces around what the records are. For some of you, you may be completely brand new to this etheric, potent realm, and for some of you, you're going to be dab hands, but hopefully we're going to share some things that you don't know about the Akashic Records. And part of these sessions, we will channel live from the Akashic Records in the conversations that we have. We're also going to be covering honouring 2023, so just having a little bit of a recap on some of the stuff that we have navigated, and also themes that are coming in for 2024. So some of you may have already seen some things around my predictions. I had 8 predictions for 2024, but Natasha will have her own things as well. And we're also going to be looking at any other ascension tips and bits and pieces we will share as well. So, but also we would love to hear your questions.
Yeah, definitely. Like, please do ask questions, because when we're channeling, Marina and I are channeling throughout these sessions, when the questions come up, we receive more and more expanded information, new information, wisdom that comes through in a slightly different way that you might need to hear. And even if you are a sort of dab hand or whiz at the Akashic Records, I do believe that as we go through this expansion process, we're expanding into the realms of newness, of undiscoveredness yet. And so we're all receiving new information every time we tap into the Akashic Records, every time we hear something from a slightly new or different perspective, angle. It's there to support that expansion process. So even for us, when I know for me, when I'm channeling, I will receive information for or on behalf of someone else in a session or in a community, and I will know specifically that's also for me, that this is a new way that I've never quite heard, that I've never quite understood with that level of depth, embodiment, power, and understanding. So, all of these things really do come through. So that was just a little reminder from Source for myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just do a right channel
right now for all of you.
Yeah, and yes, it's so right. There's so many times I've been in conversation with clients and I'm kind of like, oh, this is for me as well. Okay, noted.
Yeah, and this is why we've also come together for this, because we know that we are, we're here to share these messages, to speak into these conversations that might be a little bit activating, a little bit triggering, a little bit difficult at times, where we do feel so polarized, where things have you know, duality is at its height, and we'll talk about that when we come into honoring 2023. But you know, I feel that, you know, it's important that we have these conversations openly, that we all have a beautiful perspective on things, and there is no right and there is no wrong. We stand here, you know, receiving information, sharing information. We don't claim to be like, this is the way, the only way. This is a way. So we'd love your views. We love your perspective. We'd love to hear how you receive the information, what it brings up for you, all of these kind of things, because that is really key to having these powerful conversations. It's one of the most important elements of having this conversation here together, is that we come together in understanding that we're all unique and we're all different, and that we see things from different perspectives, and that we all hold a piece of wisdom in it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And for those that are watching perhaps the replay, if there are any questions or comments, then do tag us. We will come back and respond. Absolutely. And if there's any particular themes or things that you would wish us to cover, we took a list of themes from the last episode, so we've got them on our list to absolutely share more information about and give our views on it, and the Akashic Records views on it as well.
Yeah.
So should we dive into the Akashic Records?
Yes, let's do it. What are they?
What are they?
What on earth are the Akashic Records?
Well, you've been using the records far longer than me. So when you got introduced, was it about 20 years ago?
Yeah, I think they've sort of been coming through in various realms, probably about 15 years ago, sort of a little bit further on my journey. And they came to me sort of in different ways, not specifically as the Akashic Records, but sort of getting understandings of different things and different lifetimes, and how we're working through karmic patterns and all of these kind of things. So there was this understanding, this curiosity to really delve more and more into it. And then it sort of came more specifically later on, and working in these realms. And I think to start with, I really wasn't sure what realm I was playing in. And that was the beauty of understanding that there was so much more. There's so much more to know, to understand, to learn. But I think we probably touched on it very briefly in episode 1, but like for me, the Akashic Records are like this energetic database. They're like this understanding, this like everything has an energetic resonance. Everything, like everything we think, do, say, speak, have, like anything we put out there, like this movement has an energetic resonance. And we know that we can't destroy energy. We know it's just goes into we can change it, we can shift it into another form. But if we can't destroy energy, where does it go? So that's what we're stored. So everything we've ever spoken about, done, lived, experienced through past lifetimes up until this very point is stored as an energetic resonance in the Akashic Records. And so this can really inform the future as well, because it's like from this vantage point of where we stand today, how do we shift and navigate and change and transform the energies of what we're still holding on to shift and change where we're heading in the future. So we're standing in this moment in our Akashic record. We have access to the past, we have access to the present, because that's where we are. We have access to the future, which is also really beautiful. And this is, you know, we all each have an Akashic record. We each have them, because always, all of us, every single one of us is creating energy.
Yes, absolutely. And I pretty much echo everything that you've said there. And what I love is that we can influence our future with intention. We can rewrite the stories of the past to change and create new stories of the future. And that's what is really exciting, I think, about the Akashic Records. And we can do that for ourselves, but we can also do it for our ancestors, and we can do it for our future generations as well, which I think is incredible.
Yes. And we are all connected. Like, you know, there is, everything is connected. We know that as well. So it's like my Akashic record is connected to Marina's Akashic records, and there's no coincidence that our Akashic records like put us together, you know, at the beginning. Well, probably, it was quite a few years ago, but properly at the beginning of last year. To support each other, and Marina really supported me through some transitions and some Akashic work, which was beautiful. And it's like we are all connected. There is no separateness from us, and that's the collective part that we really want to talk into as well today. Because the Akashic records show us the connectivity. They help us to understand that everything is connected. There is nothing that is like solitary. It's like we're all connected. We're individual beings making individual choices, but that also impacts and impacts the collective as well. So it's all a part of it, and this is the beautiful energies that we're working with.
And can you visualize the Akashic records?
I feel them. So it's really interesting because I, like you, I do activation meditations and I do a lot of guidance, and I receive visuals as I channel those, but for myself, I feel it. So I feel when I'm in it, my body feels it. I get a sensation, usually at the base of my spine, actually, the receiving the information through the crown, but it's at the base of my spine that I really feel that there's that connection, that whoosh energy. And so we all, and what I love about it as well, we all connect so differently. We experience the Akashic records so differently. And I think that that's where we stand together as well. There's no one way to do anything. This is a huge part of my teachings, is that I'll open the doorway for you and I'll help you, give you some ideas around how you access it, but go experience it, go explore, trust what you're given, and trust the information that comes through, and know that you're connecting with the Akashic records and the Akashic records.
And that's a big part of it, isn't it? It's the trust. Trust in yourself, because for me it's a knowing. I just know that I'm in the records, so it's not a feeling and it's not visual either. So and in some ways I think the knowing it takes even more trust, because there's no physical like sensation, or you're not visualizing. It's just like, well, I just have to trust that I'm in here, and I just know that I am. So
yes, and it's fascinating, isn't it? Because when you tap into that energy, there's just a different sense that we're tapping into, and that we heighten, and that we work with, and we develop all the senses, I believe. It's like as we play with one, others come into play. So it's not just but there's one more that feels more dominant. But I think the Akashic records also give me that element of, we can feel that it's a bit woo, it's a bit out there, it's a bit etheric, and that we have to travel somewhere in order to get the Akashic, to access the Akashic records. I feel what's really helped me and supported me in my ascension process, but to stay safe and to stay grounded, is the fact that I am here in the physical body receiving information from the Akashic record. So I open the channel, but the information comes through and down and into my physical being. So I'm experiencing them right here in the physical realm. So I know that when I started my spiritual journey, I thought I always had to go somewhere in order to experience something other, as in, the spirituality, the other senses. I always felt it was something outside of me. Now I really know that it is a part of me, and actually in that it helps me to ground and feel safe in the physical experience, not try to remove myself from it, because that's where all the beauty and all the magic happens, and all the incredible wisdom that comes through. It is actually here, and there's a very, very strong differentiation between those two energies, in which the way they track it's all circular, but we don't want it just to be one way. So that for me is a really important part of this whole conversation around ascension, safety and ascension.
No, I agree. And I think for me, I've always kind of connected in with the belief that we are our Akashic records. And so when people say they can't access the records, I'm kind of like, but you are your Akashic records. How can you not access it? And I know that there's limiting beliefs, and there's trauma, and there's other bits and pieces there, which is in somehow they believe that they can't get into their records, but we are our Akashic records. We are the walking library. And for me, it is like when we go into the records, it's like coming home. So it's like you're almost fully landing in within yourself, in your physical body, within your soul, in human form.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's and so I totally agree that it is a fabulous concept to have, that absolutely being in your Akashic Records is the most grounded place you could be, and like you say, safe, when you're fully in your records doing the thing that you need to do. And having the human experience, you know, we're updating the Akashic Records all at the same time, you know. It's you're living that multi-dimensional life whilst you're walking around in your human body, and the Akashic Records just is recording it all, and also supporting the, you know, supporting that our experience as well, in so many ways.
Oh my goodness, so many ways. And that's the beauty of it. So I can see quite a few people coming to join us live. Hello, if you've just
we're not ignoring you.
Come and join us, and do let us know if you've got any questions about anything that we're talking about, because this is a really beautiful topic. But it's like it's such an expansive tool, the Akashic Records. I don't even think we've not even got there yet in terms of what we're able to do with them, that we understand how they ripple out, the work that we're doing in them. And intentionality is so key when working with the Akashic Records. Why are we in there? Why are we doing that? Are we giving away our power, or are we holding our power and asking for support? And again, that is such a different way, because in terms of creating manifestations, we manifest here in the physical realm, here on earth, walking this plane. We don't manifest out there. It already all exists. Every opportunity, every timeline, every possibility already exists in the energetic realm. And so it's like the choices and the conscious decisions that we're making here right now that will inform our manifestation process. We can ask for information and guidance. We can release the stuff in the Akashic Records. We can get information about who we are and how to align with our soul frequencies through the Akashic Records. But it's here that we create them. This is why it's so important that we truly embody. And as Marina so beautifully says, it's like, we are our Akashic Record. How do we walk with with that knowingness, with that energy that we're creating, and we're contributing to our Akashic Record and rippling that out to the collective Akashic Records with everything that we do. This is how powerful we truly are. And if we can tap into just 1% more of our true power, autonomy, sovereignty, ability to create, there is no end to what we're able to do here in the physical realm, in the reality that we walk in this lifetime right now. Hi, Julie. Lovely to see you.
Hi, Julie. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And it's interesting that we all have our own records. And you touched on the fact that, you know, there's the collective records, as in the planet's records, the countries have a record.
We're going to talk about that in another episode, right? Or
what, the country records?
No, well, the country records, the galaxy records. So we're going
to talk about galactic.
Carry on.
Yeah, no, it's cool. So, but there is so many different records that it is, because we're all connected. It's not just our records that we're updating. We're also updating, and influencing lots of other records as well. And so I think having this awareness is what, you know, it's definitely one of the continuations of themes from 2023 into 2024, is this sovereignty. It's this conscious, soulful self-awareness around our behaviors. And like you say, part of the manifesting process, whether we manifest what we want or what we don't want, it's our manifesting process. And it's how are we influencing that? How are we impacting? How are we taking charge of our choices and creating? And it is, and like you say, intentional connection with ourselves, intentional connection with the Akashic Records is, you know, it's the way that we need to go. But it's a process. It's a hard process, you know. because we live most of our life on autonomy and the safety in the 3D. Not safety in the Ascension, but safety in the 3D.
Yeah, because this is where we feel unsafe, right? Right here. It's not up there we feel unsafe. We know it's all love and light, and it's all the beauty of what we're like, infinity.
This is the planet of hard knocks. You know, when we've decided to come here, it's like, do we really want to do this? You know, and it's kind of like, yeah, why not? You know, we might as well go all in. So it is the planet of hard knocks. I have heard that, and it's kind of like, so is. If you really want to learn separation from source at its hardest level, then this is where we go to really experience that.
Yeah, for sure. And I love that planet of hard. There have certainly been some brutal knocks, and you know, some of us will experience those to different degrees to others.
Absolutely.
And it's these are our opportunities really to say, are we really in? I mean, there have been moments where I'm like, it would just be easier to check out, you know, just like, let's not do this work anymore. But then there's always something that nudges me, sometimes shoves me back towards it, because my whole being knows this is truth for me. Like, this is where I feel most alive, where I feel most aligned, and where I feel the safest, when I'm connected with my ability, my power to be able to create my own life, my own future, and use the energies as a support system for me to create here. You know, I feel that, you know, not only is this the planet of hard knocks, I think last year was a year of hard knocks for so many people. And I've really looked back at 2023, where I've wobbled, I've teetered, I have questioned. And I think that has been good, because when we believe blindly that something is like as it is, and we won't question, like, is this real? Is this true? Then we're in I think in a kind of a rocky place, because and this is where we become so dualistic, we become so polarized around everything, which is we've been seeing happening for, you know, the last few years, the last few decades, but where we're not able to question things, where we're not able to say, am I right? Like, someone else has a different opinion. Can I look at that and say, what does that feel like? Yes, okay, I can see their perspective, but I still hold mine to be true, and that's okay. Like, we don't have to fight with fight, and it's like, we don't have to prove ourselves to anyone or anything. It's like, it's the inner knowingness, but do we question it? Do we allow ourselves to look and go, is there something more for me? Is there something more for me to understand? Have I not got this quite right? Does a different perspective offer me a whole new level of perspective in my own realm? And this is the thing I think that 2023 really brought to the forefront for me. So I don't know how you feel about that. That's kind of came through just now.
No, it's true. And I think from a collective perspective, you know, as we know, the powers that be were ramping up the, you know, whatever they could ramp up to continue this divide and separation, you know, because that's where most of our fears are. This is where we can really feel unsafe. In our ascension process, because we're in the ascension process, whether we like it or agree to it or whatever, it's happening. So we can go along and do it in a more intentional way and be aware of our own energy and behaviors and responses and reactions and all of that. Or we can just ignore it, avoid it, and put our fingers in our ears, I suppose, which is fine for some people, but they're still going to ascend. There's no way getting around that. But they probably are still then really plugged into what is being also put out there as fear tactics, and to continue to keep this separation and divide. And we've seen that massively in 2023 in a very, very destructive way, which is how it's usually, and it's how it's played out for centuries upon centuries, is like destruction, you know, loss of life, hardship, challenge. This is what's infused into the, you know, the whole of the Akashic Records, the planet's Akashic Records, humanity's Akashic Records, is this old conditioning and programming and way of doing things. And this is what the Ascension process is helping, is to put the light into that Akashic Records and just kind of like dissolve those limiting beliefs, the programming, the trauma. There's so much trauma that's held in that particular Akashic Records. And I think at some point there's probably going to be something that we'll need to do. And I know that I do collective Akashic work, but I'm sure there's something much more that we could do collectively to really shine light into the trauma and heal the trauma of the past.
Yes, because when we also do that, I think it works both ways. I think when we work at that level, we all feel it because we're doing something on the collective. The fear just feels stronger because that's the bit that activates us, wakes us up, like creates disharmony, unbalance in the nervous system here in the physical, and we feel it very strongly. But like when we're working on those levels collectively to add more light, we all feel that more light that's coming, because all the Akashic Records are connected. So, but it also likewise, when we amplify light, because we are the light of the universe, it's not our light, it's the light of the universe that we're tapping into and connecting. We reflect that back and we amplify it. We also amplify that out into the collective. So there is a huge amount of rebalancing that's happening. So the tiniest little, what's really given me so much peace last year, that every difficulty, challenge, knock, little irritation that I've worked through consciously to feel safer in that, I know that it has had a ripple effect. That it will be felt by others, that it doesn't matter how small the shift, it could be minute, it could even pass us by, we don't even know we've done it. There will be a ripple effect. So never underestimate, and that's not why we do it. We do it for ourselves first and know that it has that collective ripple, but do it for yourself. If you do it only for the collective, you're missing your part in the process. So you bypass yourself and just do it there, and then you don't feel the benefits. We have to do it, I believe, here first for ourselves, and know that by osmosis, by refraction of light, it will ripple out. And that's why, you know, we do the work for ourselves first and then for others. That's how we remain strong, powerful, connected, unique, and beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. So I think in that kind of like part, we've definitely explained some of the benefits of using the Akashic Records. Is there any other benefits that you feel that we've missed out on there? Oh my gosh, I think they're so vast and infinite, like the benefits of the Akashic Records in working with that. You know, I think it is, I think last year was definitely, as you said, you know, a necessary path we had to walk in terms of doing this for ourselves and collectively. I think the benefits of the Akashic Record is knowing that everything is connected, you know, that we really are not doing this alone. We can feel so alone at times. And I know, you know, for those of you that are healers, light workers, coaches, you know, even that can feel alone. Being in community, being in connection with others is so important now, I think, for our, like what we're coming into for next year. Absolutely. So if you feel alone, like know that these conversations are to support you, to know that we're all walking this. There's no perfection. There's no I'm there, I've done it. It's like I'm still walking it. We're all walking for the home. We're all walking each other home. Exactly. There's that humility that comes with we don't want to admit that we haven't got it quite right, or we're not quite there yet. Of course I've got it all sorted, but I really truly don't. And I think that's the beauty of what the Akashic Records have really taught me, is that I'm on this path walking my purpose, which is to come back to me, to come back to who I am and express myself in my unique way, how I see things, and what I want to share, how I want to inspire, how I want to connect with others. And I think that that's what the Akashic Records have really, really given me, and more so last year, because I felt like I swayed off my path. I felt like there were certain things that could have easily kept me going in a different direction, and it was constantly like, come back, like come back, and just really holding that, and trusting it, that it's going to be okay. Because for me, some of last year felt really, really challenging, and so I honor it. I really, really honor it. I'm so grateful for last year, because I had some incredible, amazing experiences. And I think that going back to what we were talking about, the polarity of everything, I think for me it was so clear that I could have so many amazing things going on in my life, and yet, wow, what the hell is all this about? This doubt, this uncertainty, like things feel like they're falling apart, but only to come together. Why is this so, like, why can't I just move through this bit? And I've been trying to sell my flat for like 8 months, 9 months. I'm like, this should be easy. Like, and it's really, that has given me so much, in the sense of, I'm still not there yet. I should have been done and dusted like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, what is this all about? Hey, Eric. It's like, how do we do this? So it's like,
I think there's a couple of things in that. I think one of the benefits, I think, just coming back to that, for people that don't really use the Akashic Records or are really new to this is the first thing that this will open up for you, is that you get to learn about yourself in a much more deeper way. And it might just be that you're just starting to understand your behaviors and your patterns and things like that. And that's the first, for me, that I'm still learning that, that's because I avoided it for so long with alcohol and, all of the things that we do to distract ourselves. And there's still patterns there that I've got to work through, but it's really opened up my eyes. That's what the Akashic Records does. It opens up your eyes and puts you in a place of safety. Like, coming back to the safety part as well, you're in your own records. You're not in somebody else's records. You're in your own records with all of your information and your wisdom that you've already done in lots of different lifetimes. So it does feel safe to then, okay, well, I'll take a little peek at this pattern, of working hard because I'm avoiding feeling trauma from like my childhood or something like that, I'm feeling safe. So actually, I might actually have a little peek at that and see if I can start to work through that, because it doesn't feel really bad and scary, because I'm doing it in my records. And I think there's a comfort in healing with the records as well, especially if you're kind of doing this, you want to attempt doing this on your own a little bit. And then I think, just coming back to your point around polarity and duality, that is the human experience. And I think for me, that's 2023 going into 2024. We have to accept that we're having a human experience. And as much as we really want the unicorns and the rainbows, we've got to have all the shit as well, because how can we be really expansive for the real beautiful stuff if we're not really then really expansive for all the crap as well? It's got to be, it's whatever's up there in terms of, we want, say, £2 million, then we've also got to be able to cope with losing £2 million. That's because it's the opposite. So that's what we're here for. We're here for all of it as a human, and the more we can just, I think, get our heads around that, and just the lessons and the learnings are that we move through the challenge in a faster way. We move through the challenge in a more aligned way that serves and supports us and still has us feel safe, and not into panic and like throwing everything out of the wind, going into complete meltdown. That's the beauty. We still get the challenges, but we react and respond and move through them in a different way. And that's the ascension process, and that's the alignment.
I really love that. I just want to kind of talk a little bit more into that, if that's okay, for a second. I love the analogy. If we want to win, or if we want to create 2 million, we've also got to be able to hold losing 2 million.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the questions that I get asked is like, does it always have to be hard then? Do we always have to give up something in order to gain something? And I believe the answer to that is no.
Yeah.
But it comes back to the safety element, because it's only the fear in us of the conditioning and the societal conditioning and the generations of conditioning that say losing the 2 million is bad.
Yeah.
That we are then unsafe.
Yeah.
But if we could say, oh, well, if I lost 2 million, oh, okay, I'll lose 2 million. I'll make another 2 million.
Yeah. I'm open for 4 million
okay,
now.
That means I have to reassess things. The challenge is, okay, how do I navigate this? Not how do I overcome the fear of dissolution, homelessness, everything else that we've been conditioned to believe comes with losing the 2 million.
Yeah.
So this is a very, very different frame of experience, because it's like, well, does it have to be difficult? Does the ascension process have to come with challenge and difficulty and hardship? No, it can be easy if we can allow ourselves to go, well, losing 2 million doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything. How do I navigate this to create 2 million again?
Yeah.
And
that's where it comes back to sovereignty and taking our power back. And that's where it leads. And that's where we are. That's what we're walking into. That's what we're trying to create, nourish and nurture for ourselves, but also bringing everybody along with us and getting us all to kind of come from that space.
Yes. So I hope that kind of made sense, because I love that analogy, because, you know, I could admit, as soon as you said, oh, we got to be able to hold 2 million, I was like, lose 2 million. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do if I lost 2 million? Like, actually, that's just the trigger within me. It doesn't actually mean anything. Will I still be safe? Will I still have life? Yes. Will I be able to navigate my way around that? Yes. How will I do that? I have no idea. But so it's like, it's so interesting, because it created a real visceral experience. So I love that.
Yeah. Hi, Muriel. Good to see you here. Okay, so I'm just going to see what question or comments we've got here from Julie. So each time she goes into her records, her book aura is different, as in the front of the book. Okay, today was beautiful pinks. I did a transmission before with dried flowers, like tissue paper. Do we have lots of different books? I take there is not just the one huge one. The way that I kind of present it is that you do just have that one huge one. But if you've got these outside covers that are changing, then what I really sense into that is that it's a reflection of how you're showing up today.
Yeah, I just got chills.
Yeah, it's just your energy. It's and if you're like these beautiful dried pink flowers, then there's the real kind of like lightness, and maybe you're in a real place of wanting to give love or needing a little bit of self-love and stuff like that. So that's, for me, the book essentially is your book, but if the covers are changing, then I think that's just a reflection of your energy in the day that you're going in, because your Akashic records do change. They do change. They can change. They can evolve. They can grow. I think I said this morning that there may be some new rooms that then kind of get built on, or there may be some windows that get added. And I think, again, it's just a reflection of your growth on your journey, your consciousness, your evolution, you know, what you're navigating, what you've, in terms of lessons, what you've completed, and then there's something new that you know needs to then be addressed. So it's just a reflection of where we are.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. I totally agree with everything you just said there. I just got the chills as you started talking.
That's always it's always a sign for me and Natasha when we're both saying something. It feels true for us. We get the chills. So
love it. Yes. Yeah. So thank you for that question. Any other questions coming through, just please ask. It's just it's so lovely to get the questions. So I'm just kind of wondering, the door was modern white panels with doorknobs on one side and handles. I love how descriptive, like how much detail there is in your visuals as well. That's really, really beautiful. I really love that. How gorgeous is that? So yeah, so I'm just kind of like, as we move through now, we're already the 10th of January 2024. So but it doesn't matter when you're watching this. It's like the dates are irrelevant, and it's like even if you're watching this at the end of the year or in a year's time, the energy that you're tapping into, the feeling it's all relevant because there is no time. That's just
time doesn't exist.
Time doesn't exist, but that's a topic for another episode, which will be coming up, where we'll talk about time. So stay tuned for that. But like the themes that we're bringing into 2024, now that we're standing on the 10th of January, the energies I feel really have shifted. And I don't know about you, Marina, but I really feel like, New Year has always been again about this conditioning of like, get going, get started, like full on, like do everything 100,000,000% at your best. And I've really been like easing my way in. Like I only really came back to work this week. It's not work, it's play, but like came back fully Monday, it's Wednesday, lose the days. And I'm just really easing myself back in. I've really given myself permission to go, I don't need to do everything this week. Like, just see what comes through. Just go slowly and build on the energy, build the momentum. That's how we sustain it. It's like we build momentum, and then the momentum can carry itself. If we have to push really hard, we get exhausted, the momentum stops, and we have to get started again. So I've really been in this energy of like, just let things build their own natural. And I can feel the excitement sort of bubbling in me. But there are so many beautiful themes and energies. But I wonder how you feel starting in this year.
Well, being a manifesting generator, and putting out a really good offer in December meant that I was I was working and doing lots of soul purpose readings. But no, the energies are lighter. And you know what, kind of like jokes aside, I have definitely let go of this need to get everything, this new year, new you, I kind of let go of a couple of years ago for sure.
Yeah.
And I've never done New Year's resolutions or anything like that anyway. I've never been a subscriber to that. But I definitely feel like I am giving myself more permission to have more space at this time, which is a shift for me, because I'm normally kind of like, I can be a bit of a taskmaster to myself, and that's where I do the pushing for sure. Well, it's not, it's my ego. Ego, yes. But I know with my own journey, things take a bit of time. So in some ways I can be a bit slow on the uptake, and I just do it in my own way. But it can take a few years before I kind of like, okay, I'm actually going to start maybe doing all my planning at the end of January, and I've not even started any planning yet. But I feel the energies are lighter. There definitely doesn't feel. I know there's a lot still going on collectively, but I don't know, there's a sense of dread that's not there. I don't know, there's an energy that's definitely lifted in, and I think just from the numerology 8 energy, it's very different to 7.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit into that? And then we can
so energy. I'm not an expert on numerology.
No, me neither. But
my soul sister Jo is Visology. Jo Soli, she absolutely is, and she's amazing. So yeah, it's the kind of like universal year 8. So this is kind of the overriding energy of the year, and there's 9 year cycles. So 8 is where we really come to a place of fruition. It's a kind of a year of abundance, prosperity. It's success. It's about power as well. Us being in our own power. So I think for me, the power is really strong. That I think that is a thread and a theme that will come through, as we've already talked about, that having your sovereignty and really taking charge of where you're placing your power, whether that's with your own limiting beliefs and conditioning, or it's with listening to others, or whatever it might be. Being in your power is where it's going to create your success. it's going to create your wealth. It's going to create your abundance. So that's how you create this year, is through power, through your own sovereign power.
Yeah.
If I was to listen to Jo, because Jo's amazing. It's also about what she would class as the CEO. It's about high standards. It's it's all of that kind of like high quality. It's very much kind of bring that energy through as well. For me, it's also the infinity sign.
Yeah.
So it's, there's that kind of like flow and like, again, being connected to each other. So what we're putting out and what we're doing for ourselves has that beautiful ripple effect. So there's that as well. So I think with all of that, that brings just a different energy to the universal year. Now, obviously, to go deeper, you'd want to then find out your own personal year. Now, for me, and that starts on your birthday, and that's when your personal year starts. So I'm 25th of February, and I go into an 8-year. So I'm an 8-year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hold your hats.
Sounds like
That's unbelievable.
Yes. Love that. So I'm really looking to, I think, just being intentional with my power. I think that's definitely a big focus for me, is how I'm intentionally showing up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just break through some of that autonomy, where I'm just in subconscious habits, habitual routine, and which, we love because it brings safety, as I've already said. But we need to break some of that patterning, because some of it doesn't serve us.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree with that. I think the more we let go, and I think that was a lot of what many of us were doing last year, was the stuff was coming to the surface that we were being given the opportunity to let go of. And you talk about abundance, and interestingly, I had a client session this morning and we pulled a couple of cards. First one was Akashic Records, second one was abundance.
Of course.
So of course it was from 2 different card decks. So totally beautiful synchronicity in terms of where we're at and what we're doing, and the energies of last year, this year, healing, clearing, letting go, and abundance and moving forward in that. And I think the abundance piece is, as you say, linked very much to the sovereignty piece, because the more we stand in our power, the more we stand in our sovereignty, the more abundance we can tap into. Now, we always have the opportunity to tap into abundance. It's always there for us. There's never any lack unless we perceive it and we create it. So it's always there regardless. It was there for us last year, but we, like many of us, were on a different path doing other work in inverted commas. But so now this year the opportunity for abundance is there. But I feel, and I receive the information that being in our sovereignty, feeling that safety, is absolutely a foundational element of receiving that abundance. So in the figure 8, in the infinity, is also the balance between all of our realms, being, there's no separateness for us. We are our Akashic record. It's here. It's not, we tend to go, our Akashic records. Our Akashic records, our physical experience, our manifesting powers, it's all here. The collective, the individuality, it's all there. So this 8 also for me represents the balance of everything: the individuality, the singularity, the collective, the fear, the duality, the polarity, all of that. So but the really allowing ourselves to feel in this element of choice. We're always at choice. That's power. That's sovereignty. What am I choosing? What do I choose right here, right now, to stand in the abundance which is all around me? All around me. It's there. The opportunity is there at every moment for us to step into. But how are we choosing to step closer towards it, into it, to embody it, to feel it, to know that we're wealthy beyond comprehension? And by wealth, I don't mean money alone. I do mean the 2 million and and everything else, but the wealth of love, the wealth of richness, of experience, of adventure, of freedom, of whatever is important to you. That is wealth. So I feel we've got this opportunity to really step into that further in terms of the abundance piece. But there's so much more about it as well. Connection and everything.
one of my 2024 predictions that I channeled through was that there would be at least 1 more billion conscious Akashic record users in 2024.
Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Hello. Yes.
Yeah. And
oh
I
my
think
goodness. Can you imagine like what's going to happen as a result of that?
Yeah. Just having the consciousness of the records and starting to use them.
Yeah. Even if those billion are 0.001%, that ripple is immense. Immense.
Yeah.
Love that. So yeah, his work is powerful. And this is what, you know, our hope is, that we can just allow for somebody to feel into the power of that just a tiny bit more. You know, things will still remain uncertain, you know, even in this abundance, that things might feel that they're getting easier. You know, there will be still uncertainty, duality, polarity, fear. But who are we through that? Like I was saying earlier, it's like, can we navigate that differently and go,
that's the difference.
That will be the difference this year.
Yeah,
that will be the huge difference. It's like how we can still continue to walk as sovereign, powerful beings, individual beings, as walking as amongst the collective through the uncertainty. And that's where we really do need to grab each other's hands, hold each other up when we wobble, so we can come back to that knowingness of how powerful we are, much quicker, with much more certainty, much more anchored in, much more grounded. You know, every time we practice that muscle of, I'm safe, I'm here, I'm grounded, it's okay, this doesn't mean anything, losing 2 million doesn't mean anything, I'm still safe, I'm okay. It's like coming back to that. We anchor that and embody that more and more and more. And we're doing that quicker,
recoding,
and quicker and quicker. Yes, the recoding element. Another topic where we'll talk more into how we're coded around these things. We have a list.
Well, we've got a massive list. We've got more than a year's worth of.
I know.
Oh my God. So Julie, I'm just going to come back to Julie. So is there a significance that the handles were different on each side? You could look at the male and the feminine, the masculine and the feminine. I think for me that would be the only thing, that there's a masculine and a feminine aspect, and they're just showing themselves differently. And you're also a manifesting generator. I can't do just one thing at a time. No, we're multitaskers, so embrace that part. And we're not really completers either, so that's also fine.
That's also fine as well. Yeah. I think I agree with, you know, the handles on both sides as well, you know, but I think we also need to be curious about why we want to have so much meaning attached to certain things. I'm like that. I'm like, what does that mean? How does that? And it's really just tapping into and trusting yourself that you feel a difference if there is a difference. And if there isn't, but just because there's lots of handles, lots of opportunities, that's also correct and right. So it could be that it's not supposed to represent sides. It could be just that there are multiple options and handles that you can grab to open it. There are different ways and routes into opening the door. So there is no right and wrong, in the sense of, it's like, always come back and trust yourself. Like, if you're receiving gifts, messages, guidance, like, what does it mean to me? There is no meaning until we attach meaning to it. But what does it mean to me? What do you feel? Trust. Like, is there a meaning? No, there isn't. Okay, just let it go. That's cool. Like,
and that's part of sovereignty as well, is to let go of meaning, of what we make things mean. And if we can just get into a practice of that, even 1% in 2024, we'll see big shifts in our own experience.
Yes.
Because again, we're taught to make meaning of everything.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I think, you know, I totally agree. And I think in terms of 2024, again, you know, is about the sovereignty, but also the collective, and to recognize that we really are being invited. We really are being invited to let go of the competition that is so prevalent, like knocking each other down. You're right, you're wrong, I'm right energy, that we still, and social media is rife for it. It really is. And, you know,
so is the educational systems though as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know, competition, you know, you got to do the best, be the best. You know, you can only thrive if you're the best.
Yeah.
There's nothing for second place.
Yeah. It's not true. It's
No,
just
it's not
not true, is it? I mean, it's like we have been conditioned and taught so many ways that are not empowering. And so when we realize that, you know, we are all unique and different, we're as unique as a fingerprint. There is no other soul incarnated in this lifetime as you know, in the same way as you. You are unique. There is no one like you. There'll be similar frequencies. That's why we're attracted to some people, we're not attracted to others. But it's like, we are all unique. And if we can really truly remember that, and allowing ourselves to have an opinion or ask a question and allow us to see how that lands for us, and be that there is no competition. We don't have to compete with each other. We don't have to tear each other down. It upsets me so much when I see it on social media, just the lack of thought in the way that something is communicated. And it's not always meant in the way it's given, but like, to recognize we are soul sisters, we're soul brothers, we're soul connected, and we're all connected. So allowing ourselves to really be in this space of understanding. We don't have to agree. Like, that's good, but just to be in a space that we're not in competition with others. We can support each other, even if we have a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
Everything is valid. Everything is valid in the space. It's always for someone in the space that needs to hear it. It's not for everyone. So can we let go of this idea that someone's doing something in a space that we don't agree with, and that we have to tear them down, or that we have to call them out on it, in the knowingness that that will be for someone and their highest good, and that it's all part of the system. And that's why, you know, we've come together. We do the same thing, different ways, because we're both unique. But we have incredible conversations together. Why would we not share these ideas, these inspirations that inspire us, keep us moving, like keep us working together? Because we want to share that. So I really feel like it's okay to be different, but we're not against each other. And that's the beauty of what we're bringing into 2024, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. Collective community connection. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It's been really good to see you here. And if anybody's watching the replay, please do pop in any questions. You know, any feedback that you've had that maybe you've been inspired to ask, or just any reflections that you've got for us, but also if there's any particular topics that you would like us to cover. So I think that's we're kind of getting to a close.
We are full hour. Goodness gracious me. And I thought, we haven't got enough to talk about.
Oh my God, I don't think we got through all the lists. So
pretty much. But yes, so join us for our next topic, which is going to be around karma, collective karma, personal karma. So we're going to talk a little bit more into that. It's on Friday, the 9th of February, between 1 and 2 p.m. UK time. We'll try and mix up the times to catch different time zones throughout the series as well. I feel like we might be coming on more than once a month at some point, because we've just got so much to talk about, but let's see for now. But yes, do please go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Help us to really get these messages out. If it has resonated with you, if you feel that others would really benefit, we would really, really appreciate your support in getting that out there. So please do like, share, however you feel comfortable. We would really appreciate that. So let's keep rippling this out.
Okay. Love and blessings, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. Been a pleasure. Bye for now.
Bye.
See you in February.